Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football. I hope all of you are doing well today. So, the world's worst kept secret in football is now officially out of the bag. Fantastic. It only took about, 5-6 months? Honestly, we've been in the flipping loop for so long, and now we finally have the confirmation. We have the confirmation that Trent Alexander-Arnold is leaving Liverpool Football Club, and guess what? Surprise! He's going to Real Madrid. Wow. Now, the Real Madrid part's not been announced, but I think, unless you're living in a cave and you don't know what's going on in the world, I think everyone, their mother and the blind Stevie Wonder can see that he's going to Real Madrid. So, when talking about this subject now, it's nice that everything's out in the open, and we've actually heard from Trent himself, but I want to talk about the reaction. Because we've all known this, but the reaction from Liverpool fans today. I mean, I need to do more. Because there's a building on fire here, and I'm not sure if the water's going to do. We're going to need water, air, flipping, whatever resources we can find. You might need to get planes over to start dropping flipping ocean water on this, because everything's up in flames according to the Liverpool fan base. But why? Well, we're going to get into it. Let's get into what Trent has had to say himself, and then we'll see what the reaction from the Liverpool fans has been. So here's Trent and his statement. After 20 years at Liverpool Football Club, now is the time for me to confirm that I will be leaving at the end of the season. This is easily the hardest decision I've ever made in my life. I know many of you have wondered why or been frustrated that I haven't spoken about this yet, but it was always my intention to keep my full focus on the team's best interests, which was securing number 20. This club has been my whole life, my whole world for 20 years. From the academy right through until now, the support and love I have felt from everyone inside and outside of the club will stay with me forever. I will forever be in debt to you all. But I have never known anything else, and this decision is about experiencing a new challenge, taking myself out of my comfort zone and pushing myself both professionally and personally. I've given my all every single day I've been at this club, and I hope you feel like I've given back to you during my time here. From the bottom of my heart, I thank everybody, my coaches, my managers, my teammates, the staff, and our incredible supporters for the last 20 years. I've been blessed enough to live out my dreams here, and I will never ever take for granted the special moments I've been fortunate enough to have lived through with you all. My love for this club will never die. Yours sincerely, Trent Alexander-Arnold. And then the Liverpool fans burned everything to the ground. Now, I want to speak about this because we all knew that this was the case. We all knew that Trent was going to Real Madrid. I'm going to be completely honest, and it's funny, I've heard a few others speaking about this, including Mark Goldbridge. And there's a lot of people going down the tribalism route. That this is something you just don't do. You just don't do, right? And I get why Liverpool fans are frustrated. But I also find it a bit bizarre. Because, for example, Mark, using the example of David Beckham going to Real Madrid back in 2003 when he was 28 years old, Trent is 26, it's not too far off, but Trent is entering his prime. Well, he's been in his prime for a bit, but he's entering his prime technically in terms of age. He used Beckham as a reference going to Real Madrid, but he'd said if it'd been Beckham in the situation going to Real Madrid, he would have been absolutely furious. And why? Because Real Madrid paid money for David Beckham. Real Madrid paid money for Cristiano Ronaldo. All these players, Real Madrid paid money. Liverpool fans are furious here because they're not getting a penny. But it's also the same people that are telling us that when we start bringing up transfer issues or things like that, they tell us, oh, but it's not your money to worry about. It's the club's. So which way is it? Is it the club's money, or are we meant to be bothered by it or not? I've also had the other direction. I've also had the direction, and then a couple of people have told me this, and I found it very easy to answer to. That have said, oh, if this was Reece James, if this was, all right, Mason Mount left, right? Well, you weren't wishing him the best. You were furious. Different situation, though. And some people will say, no, it's not. Because someone like Mason Mount had been at Chelsea since he was 8. Trent Alexander-Arnold has been at Liverpool since he was 6. For 20 years he's been at Liverpool. But there's a difference. Trent Alexander-Arnold broke into the first team nearly 10 years ago. In fact, I think this year is the 9th year of his senior career at Liverpool. And in those 9 years, despite him being 26, but in those 9 years, from the moment he broke in up until now, he's been a staple in that Liverpool team. And he's won 2 league titles. He's won every domestic trophy there is to win. He's won the Champions League. He's won the Super Cup. He's helped this Liverpool team, especially under Jurgen Klopp, succeed. And now, obviously now with Arne Slot, go on to win another league title. Mason Mount with Chelsea didn't come near to that. Yes, helped us win a Champions League. And I'm actually grateful for that. In similar fashion that I'm grateful to Kai Havertz for scoring that goal in the final and for helping us get there. Much like Timo Werner too. But these are guys that were at the club for a very short time when you think about it. And on top of that, someone like Mason Mount went to a direct rival. He went to Man United. And then put a video with his dad in the dressing room going, oh, good to be home. Wait, this is home. This is home? What? Since when? So those are the things. Trent, there's one thing here because Liverpool fans have absolutely kicked off. And I feel like there's one important factor here that as football fans we should understand. We should understand. Despite loyalty and all that, I think he has been loyal. He has served a huge amount of time to Liverpool, right? But with all the Liverpool fans saying, you're not welcome back, jog on, you're a rat, burning shirts, get lost. It's mad that, okay, had Real Madrid actually paid a fee, I think all these guys would be telling him, oh, good luck, mate. You know, well done. Yeah, go and smash it. You know, just because, what? Because the fee wasn't paid. That's not just strictly down to Trent Alexander-Arnold. That's down to Real Madrid. You've got to remember that as well. I'm not seeing anyone criticize Real Madrid here. But then again, Real Madrid are doing business in the way that they know they can do business. And why? Why are Real Madrid in a position where they can sign Rudiger for free? Where they can sign Kylian Mbappe for free, where they can sign Trent Alexander-Arnold for free, and they're going after Saliba next. That's already been made public. Saliba, like Goldberg used to say, you're next. You're next. Why? Because it's Real Madrid. And this is where I think Liverpool fans need to bring some context. Now, I'm not telling Liverpool fans how to think, right? Obviously, the Liverpool fans, they're heartbroken. I'd be lying. If this was Reece James and he was going to Real Madrid, what, you don't think I'd be heartbroken? Of course, I'd be heartbroken. I wouldn't be saying, oh, mate, you're not loyal, get out of here, you're not welcome back, jog on, you're a rat. I wouldn't. I actually wouldn't. Now, if he went to a direct rival, he went to Man United, or if he went to Arsenal, or if he went to, God forbid, if he went to Spurs. I mean, that would be bad for him, let alone for us. But at that point, there's a problem. He's going to Real Madrid. Do you know who Real Madrid are? And some people are going to say, oh no, but Real Madrid, but they're on the decline. They're nothing. Yeah, this season, maybe they're having a bad season. It's Real Madrid, though. Real Madrid are the world's most decorated football club in terms of prestige and actual level. Because I know there's other clubs on some other continents that have won more titles. Technically, I know that. You know, it's like saying that Celtic and Rangers, for example, have won how many flipping? Like 260 million league titles. But you get what I mean. Real Madrid are the most prestigious club in the world. This is the equivalent of a decent actor getting a phone call to leave a show that he's been with for a decade from The Rock and, I don't know, Quentin Tarantino or Steven Spielberg or someone going, listen, we want you to come onto our film and you've got to leave your show. Are you going to do it? Well, at that point, I get to co-star with Dwayne Johnson. I get to work under one of the world's best directors. I get to be given this crazy contract. I mean, it's a massive level up. Real Madrid, people need to understand this. Real Madrid are a club that no footballer says no to. You just don't. You can, and some have. But let's bring in one example. Steven Gerrard was someone who did say no, right? But when you're looking at Steven Gerrard, when he was first approached to leave Liverpool by who? By Jose Mourinho, what happened? What? Did he stay loyal? If we go down the history books, he got death threats. If it wasn't for that, he would have left. Let's be real. his life was threatened. So he stays. But Jose went after him at Chelsea. Jose went after him at Inter. Jose went after him at Real Madrid. After the first one, he then said no subsequently to the other two. But that wasn't purely down to him. The history books are there. You can go back in time and see how it went down. We'll remember. So, yeah, he remained loyal, technically, all the way to the end. But he would have gone. I believe he would have gone. If the fans didn't kick off the way they did, I think he would have been out of there. Football players, at the end of the day, especially now, we're not in the 70s, 80s, 90s anymore. Unfortunately, I would go back. If you ask me, right, could everyone be loyal or not? I'd be like, listen, everyone be loyal, 100%, because it's a beautiful thing. When you have players that stay from the start until the end and they wear the badge of their hearts and they go all the way into the end no matter what, that's beautiful. You know, you look at players that have done that, like a Totti. I mean, that's fantastic, you know? Even in our case, when I look at JT, I mean, up until the very end, then, you know, he called it quits. But when you stay until the end, you stay until that far in, and then you know you have to step aside because you can't hold the club back. Your legs are not the same anymore. Your age is a factor. Then you can't just stay in the team until the end, until you can't run anymore. Then I get it. You can step aside and maybe finish your career for the last year or two. So that I still count that as the same thing. These players, yeah, they're fantastic, but it's not everyone. And like I said, Trent did serve his time and did do his best with Liverpool. But the opportunity to join Real Madrid has come now. And we all know, if he lets this go now, it's probably not going to come back. This is Real Madrid, people. When you play for Real Madrid as a footballer, you're in the history books. You're in the history books. I played for Real Madrid. That's mad. Despite their bad form, but it's Real Madrid. 15 Champions League titles, like, come on, it's ridiculous. It's Real Madrid. You know? It's so hard to say no to that. But the problem with this deal, like I said, is that he's going for free. But why is he going for free? That's not in Trent's control when you think about it. He's been approached. He's not going to force the move and force Real Madrid to pay money. He can't. That's Real Madrid's decision. But has any other club come in for Trent Alexander-Arnold? No. Has any other club decided to offer money for Trent Alexander-Arnold? No. The only ones were Liverpool. But he knew that Real Madrid were there. So he's like, oh, I'm going to see what happens. But I don't blame him for that. Now, if he had been promoted to the first team, for example, and he started playing well, and he's played for 2 years, right, or 3 years, and then he bounces, and he's done that, he's run his contract down, and he's just decided that but prior to that, he's gone, yeah, I'm Liverpool through and through. All right, at that point, I get it. But I think he's done his time. Liverpool have managed to get a decade out of him. I can't really ask for more than that. I know he can do more, but I think it's a bit over the top to make it look like you're a rat. He's not a rat. It's Real Madrid that have come in, and it's Real Madrid that know that they've had the power in this situation to get him for free because no one else is coming in, and they know they're going to have the overall say at the end of this because they are Real Madrid. They got Rudiger for free. They got Mbappe for free. They're going to get Saliba for free. Wait and see what happens to Saliba. Goodbye, Saliba. He's off. When Real Madrid knock on his door, which they probably already have done, and they've already got some sort of contact, they know that we're just going to let you run your contract down. We're not going to move. And then if another club comes in and Real Madrid are forced, they go, okay, we'll pay money then. But no one has. So I honestly, I get the frustration that he's leaving when he's leaving, but he's not a rat. In my eyes, he's not a rat. I don't think he's been disloyal. I just don't see it that way. Like I said, if he had left after 2-3 years, then maybe there's a case. But I think he's done his time. I think there's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that has popped up for him. I think he's given Liverpool everything that he can possibly give. What more can he give now? Just he keeps winning more, which will probably not happen. Liverpool will compete, but I don't think they're really going to be there. We're also living in an age now where we have to be real. And like I said, the one thing I will agree with what Mark said and what a few others have said is that football are mercenaries now. And that is, footballers are mercenaries now. And that is true. For the most part, footballers are looking out for their careers, their interests, their bank accounts, their families, and how they're going to end their careers. right? Because careers are short, and they have to look at what's best. But I'm also looking at this, honestly looking at Trent and going, he's not been disloyal. He's done his time for Liverpool and he's given quite a lot to Liverpool. And Real Madrid have come along, no one else has. And I mean, like I said, he can't force Real Madrid to pay money. Some will say, yeah, well, just sign a new contract with Liverpool then. Well, at that point, Real Madrid will probably back off. It's not easy. And I think anyone else in that situation would give it a second thought. Why? Because it's Real Madrid. I think if it was any other club, Trent would have signed a new deal. It's Real Madrid. We need to understand the significance of this. Trent has won everything he can possibly win with Liverpool, and he's done his time with them. Now he gets to go, correctly so, for a new challenge, a new country, the most prestigious club in the world, with some of the best players in the world, to try and conquer it there and to try and take himself to a next level. I think it would be wise to look at him and go, no, you know what? Good luck to you, and I hope you smash it over there. Like I said, if he was going to a direct competitor, though, different story. If he went to Man United, absolutely. Because Liverpool United, I mean, they're the Antichrist to Liverpool, right? That is blasphemy. That is pure blasphemy. Okay, I understand that one. Direct competitor, direct number one rival, besides maybe Everton, but still, you get it. For that, I would be absolutely cool with all the crazy outrage that Liverpool fans have at the moment for Trent. I would be like, yeah, you are completely correct. If he went to Man United, for sure. But he's going to Real Madrid. I honestly, this was expected. I don't see anything wrong. I think the main issue here is that Liverpool are not getting any money. That's how Real Madrid do things. That's the pull and the prestige that Real Madrid have. They're able to do that. No one else is really able to do that. No one else is able to keep a player on standby and go, don't worry, we're coming in for you, but just wait. And then they'll wait. No one can do that except Real Madrid. It's Real Madrid. That's just the reality. That's the truth. So I think this will fade eventually. But yeah. I don't think he's been disloyal. And yeah, will he do well at Real Madrid? I think it will suit him. I think he will do well. But I think Real Madrid as a whole, yeah, this season's not been a good season. They're going to have to go for a little bit of a rebuild. I think they're going to get Xabi Alonso in for next season. Carlo has left basically at this point. And then we'll see what happens. Trent will be starting pretty much every game in that role, I reckon. So we'll see what happens. But let me know your thoughts down below. Much appreciated. Be here later on for video number 2, which I think is going to be a Reddit video, and also the watch along for Crystal Palace versus Nottingham Forest, where we hopefully get Crystal Palace pick up 3 points. So make sure you're here. We'll be watching along like South London's red and blue army, even though we're not, but we will be here. So make sure you're here. I'll catch all of you then. Look after yourself. See you later. Take care and peace.